Welcome to this explainer. So I want you to picture this for a second. You're out in public and someone just straight up insults you. Everyone's looking. Some people are even laughing. Right away, your heart just starts pounding, doesn't it? Your very first instinct, because it's human nature, is to defend yourself. You want to argue back, prove them wrong, maybe even throw an insult right back at them. But what if I told you about a 2,000-year-old Stoic secret? A mindset that says the calmest person in the room, not the loudest one, is actually the strongest.
Let's really dive into this by asking a pretty wild question. What if an insult had absolutely zero power over you? Now, looking at it this way totally flips our instinct to fight back on its head. But here's the thing. For over 2 millennia, Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca learned to literally strip insults of their power. They figured out how to respond not with this huge explosion of anger, but with grounded, unshakable wisdom.
All right, let's look at part 1, the illusion of insults and why words only hurt with permission.
You know, here's a really surprising truth that we almost always forget. Insults don't actually hurt because of the physical sound waves hitting your ears. They hurt because of the meaning and those racing, spiraling thoughts that we attach to them. When someone calls you a name, your mind just goes into overdrive, right? You worry about what other people are thinking, or worse, you secretly fear that maybe the person insulting you is right. So the suffering isn't coming from them, it's coming straight from your own mind. And this brilliantly illustrates a core Stoic discovery from the philosopher Epictetus. He famously said, people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Basically, when someone insults you, you've got a choice. You can accept their opinion, or you can completely reject it. You can literally forbid an insult from setting up camp in your head without your permission.
It's kind of like a package being thrown at your front door. If you never actually pick it up and bring it inside, it never really becomes yours, right? While most of us immediately rush to rip open the box and let the insult right into our minds, the Stoics, well, they just leave the package outside.
Moving on to part 2, Epictetus's unbreakable mind, the slave who mastered himself.
So Epictetus wasn't some guy born into wealth or high society. He was actually born into slavery. But despite that, he deeply understood the difference between the physical body, which, can totally be broken by other people, and his character, which belonged 100% to him. There is this absolutely incredible story from ancient accounts about Epictetus and his cruel master. The master was violently twisting Epictetus's leg, and Epictetus, completely calm, just warns him, "You're going to break it." Well, the master keeps twisting, and eventually, snap, the leg breaks. But Epictetus doesn't scream, he doesn't fly into a rage, he just looks at him and says, "I told you." He proved right then and there that while his body or his reputation could be harmed by others, his character, his mind, nobody could touch that.
Which brings us to this absolutely crucial point. If another person controls your emotions, they control your life. Think about that for a second. Epictetus eventually got his freedom and became one of the greatest teachers in history. But he didn't get that profound freedom by going out and physically defeating his enemies. No, he achieved it by completely mastering his own internal reactions.
All right, part 3, the power of pause, Marcus Aurelius and the Roman Empire. To really wrap our heads around this, let's jump from a slave to literally the most powerful man on earth at the time. Marcus Aurelius ruled the entire Roman Empire. That means every single day he was dealing with insane amounts of criticism, political betrayals, generals undermining his strategies, and just vicious rumors everywhere. He had every reason to be angry. Yet, if you look at his personal journal, he wrote something amazing to himself. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Notice that word, choose. Most of us just assume emotions are automatic, that we're just victims to whatever we feel, but Marcus realized that no matter what, we always have a choice in how we respond.
And that choice, it lives in this tiny, tiny space between what happens to us and how we respond to it. Let's talk about the actual physical power of pausing. Let's say someone insults you online. Instead of angrily mashing your keyboard to reply instantly, just wait. Wait 5 minutes. Maybe wait an hour or even sleep on it for a day. What happens is, when you let that little space expand, you usually realize that the angry comeback you wanted to send is only going to cause you more stress anyway. By pausing, you prove that silence is way stronger than revenge.
This leads us to part 4, Seneca and the ego, arrows without a target.
So, our final historical figure, Seneca, had this perspective that insults actually tell you way more about the deep pain and anger of the person attacking you than they do about you as the victim. He used this beautiful metaphor. He said an arrow only hurts if it actually hits a target, right? If it just zips through the empty air, it's completely harmless. Well, it's the exact same thing with insults. An insult is totally harmless if your ego isn't out there acting like a giant bullseye, desperately trying to defend itself from every little slight.
So I've got a question for you to really chew on. The next time someone attacks you, ask yourself, what kind of pain must this person be carrying? Because let's be real, secure, truly happy people, they don't just go around attacking strangers. People who are filled with anger spread anger. When you ask yourself this question, it triggers this crazy shift inside you. You go from feeling super defensive to actually feeling genuine compassion. The Stoics just flat out refuse to be slaves to other people's anger, and recognizing the attacker's inner turmoil is a massive key to that freedom.
All right, bringing it all together in part 5, 5 Steps to Peace, a modern Stoic toolkit.
Let's walk through 5 super actionable steps you can use the next time you face disrespect. Step 1. Pause before reacting. Take a big, deep breath, because honestly, your first emotion is almost never your final decision. Step 2. Ask yourself if it's true. If the criticism actually is true, hey, use it to get better. If it's completely false, just ignore it. Either way, there's nothing to get worked up about. Step 3. Separate opinion from reality. Just remember that someone's opinion is only their perspective. It doesn't magically change reality. Step 4. Protect your peace. Winning an argument usually costs you your peace of mind, and honestly, that is a terrible trade to make. And finally, Step 5. Respond with character. Lead with kindness, patience, and self-control. Becoming the kind of person who literally cannot be provoked, that is the ultimate revenge.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to hammer home this core truth. True strength isn't about controlling other people. It's about controlling yourself. You never have to accept the offering of an insult. Your peace, your character, your self-respect, those belong strictly to you alone. You beat insults just by becoming impossible to disturb. And I want to leave you with this absolutely brilliant piece of wisdom from Marcus Aurelius to cement this whole idea. He wrote, "The best revenge is not to become like the person who harmed you. We shouldn't try to win against insults by just shouting louder or sinking to their level, because if you do that, you're just playing their game."
Which brings us to one final provocative question. What is more valuable to you, being right or being peaceful? If this explainer helped you shift your perspective today, do me a favor and leave a comment below saying, "I choose peace over reaction." Keep seeking out timeless wisdom, keep working on that emotional control, and always remember, no one can disturb your peace without your permission.